Hello, Sonoma County. I'm Susan Gorin, Chair of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, and it is my pleasure to interview Sheba Person-Whitley, Executive Director of our Economic Development Board. This morning, 5 questions with Susan. Sheba, thanks for joining us today and sharing with us about how the Economic Development Board is helping our local small businesses. The County of Sonoma is very grateful for all of the important work that the Economic Development Board does for our businesses, especially in the midst of these difficult times: fires, COVID-19, local power shutdowns, local emergencies abound. And we know that our businesses have been struggling for the past year or two, and we can't thank you enough for keeping our businesses informed about all of the changes and challenges. The new state of California Blueprint for a Safer Economy implemented a color tier system to help track the loosening and tightening of restrictions in all of our counties. How's the Economic Development Board working with health services to work through this new system to move Sonoma County up through the levels?
Yes, so thank you so much, Chair Gorin. First of all, thank you for having me. That's a great question. So early on in shelter-in-place orders and the orders that came out of the governor's office, at first we were looking at this phased reopening approach. And so EDB at that time started working very, very closely with our partners and our sister organization at Health to understand what the restrictions were, what economic activities were allowed, and how businesses could think through meeting mitigation. So whether that be creating social distancing, putting up plexiglass, the use of PPE, things like hand sanitizer stations, all those different things. So all that information is on our site. And now that the governor's office has moved in from that phased reopening to this tier system, again, continuing our partnership with Health to understand what the restrictions are and the parameters that the county, parameters and criteria that the county must meet to move from one phase to another, making sure that that information is on our website and that the EDB uses this as an opportunity to clearly communicate that with the business community so that they know what they can and can't do, and so they can start to prepare as we move from one tier to another.
And the board recently approved some funding for grants for small businesses. Tell us about those stabilization grants. What are the amounts, and when and how will they be distributed?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm so thankful to you through your leadership and the rest of the Board of Supervisors for entrusting EDB with this grant funding. So we do have $2.5 million in CARES Act funding that has been allocated to support the small business community in the form of grants. We've heard early on that the business community really needed access to capital that was not in the form of debt. So really excited to be able to offer a grant program in partnership with Working Solutions. Businesses will be able to apply for grants up to $15,000. The grant application process will actually open next Monday, the 28th. We are making it super easy, streamlined. Applications can be completed in as little as 15 minutes because we know that businesses are extremely busy. Number one. Number two, that people are really hurting and that we need to remove as many barriers to entry and to access as we possibly can on the front end for ease of use and ease of access. It will be 100% online. If a business has challenges, whether it be maybe they're monolingual, maybe they have access issues with internet, maybe they don't have access to a scanner, we will be partnering with community organizations throughout the county. We will have all that information on our website. So if they go to socolaunch.org, all the information is there. And if someone wants to even sign up, I encourage you to visit our site, sign up to get on our distribution list. That way, once it opens up, you will get a reminder. So encourage everyone to please visit the site. Again, it'll be 100% online. We want to make sure that we make entry and access to the grant as easy as possible.
I know many people have difficulty accessing information online. What are we doing to ensure that these grants reach the small businesses who may not have received funding in other instances in the past, especially our small Latinx businesses, those hard to reach businesses that are suffering at this time?
Yes, so as I was just stating, we are working with some of the community partner organizations. They will actually make their sites available so people can call, make an appointment. They can actually physically go to a location, drop off applicable documentation, or even use a computer to access the grant application if they need to. And so we're really trying to be intentional about making the grant application available in locations that are diverse throughout the entire community. So we have confirmed for Guerneville area through Russian River Chamber of Commerce, the Latinx Hub in Santa Rosa, and we've also confirmed the La Luz Center in Sonoma Valley as locations that have agreed to make their facilities available for the local business community if they have issues with access. Again, also if they're monolingual. So we are reaching out to northern location up at the north end of the county, as well as Petaluma. Again, trying to reach those far-flung areas of the county where people might have some issues with access. So hope to have those other two locations confirmed in the next couple of days.
That is very exciting and great partnership building. We love our businesses and all of our partners in Sonoma County because we are creative and innovative. So what are some of the creative ways that businesses have been transitioning to keep their business afloat in these difficult times?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've heard those great stories really early on about the distilleries that were making hand sanitizer, for example. We've seen so many businesses actually get into e-commerce, so online sales, whether that be retail or even restaurants that typically never would have had an online presence, really depended on people to actually physically come into the establishment. So we've seen a huge uptick in e-commerce and online sales. We've seen curbside pickup. We've seen delivery service. So many businesses are being super creative about how they offer their products and services to their consumers and customers in a different way than what they would have historically. In addition, we've seen things like temporary closure of streets, right? So you might see a street closure and then that becomes a temporary pedestrian walkway or throughway where people can have now shops outside, they can have outdoor dining and things of that nature. I know Sonoma Valley has been doing a great deal of that, where you're basically creating this outdoor market space where people can come, be safe, walk, bike, not necessarily have to worry about vehicle traffic. And so we've seen a lot of that as well. And I do think we will continue to see some of that. We are, again, trying to get some clarification about the use of tents because, we are moving into fall and winter. We know that if we are restricted with regard to indoor, the more that we can be flexible with regard to the regulatory restrictions around tents and around heaters and things of that nature. That is going to be critically important for our small businesses to be able to continue to operate through those cooler and wetter months and not have the restrictions of not being able to do so indoors.
We're Northern California and we live in a beautiful climate area. It's always surprised me that restaurants and small businesses do not operate more freely in the outdoors than we've seen in other cities. So let's use this as an opportunity to move forward with something new and exciting. What kind of other support do you provide at the Economic Development Board to our small businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So even in the best of times, we get a tremendous amount of outreach and engagement around entrepreneurship. So people who want to start a small business, they'll call us, we'll walk them through that process, let them know what is required. So business assistance is a huge part of what the team does. And interestingly enough, even though we're in the throes of an economic crisis, we continue to get numerous requests every single week from new entrepreneurs who actually are trying to start a new business right now. And so that's been, really interesting, and, continue to be here to be a resource. We do a tremendous amount of market research. So let's say you want to start a business and you want to know, well, does that even make sense for me? Who would my competitors be? We provide all that sort of assistance free of charge. EDB does not charge for any of the services that we provide. And we continue, of course, to support broadband. That's within our department as well as Creative Sonoma and the creative community. That falls within our department as well. And with regard to the shelter-in-place orders, it's really about making sure that the business community knows what the restrictions are, how do they think through mitigation, where are the resources, where's potential workforce solutions, PPE, where they could find all those different things. And so our mission is really to be an advocate for business, but also to be a resource for business. Any and everything that they might possibly have a question about, feel free to reach out to us. We do have a team that is available to assist, and we are 100% virtual, so it really gives us a great deal of flexibility in our ability to be able to respond to everyone. So we're here. We will continue to support and be a resource.
We thank you and your amazing staff for all that you are doing during our pandemic for sure, but our fires and floods in the past few years. What would we do without you? Thanks, Sheba, for your time and all of your hard work on behalf of our business community. We surely appreciate it. And thanks to our residents for tuning in. For more information about the Economic Development Board and business recovery resources, please visit www.socolaunch.org. See you next time.